Welcome to my channel, The Good Book Tales. In today's video, in the beginning, the creation of the universe, we're about to take a journey so vast, so mysterious, and so breathtaking that even time itself pauses in awe. Close your eyes for just a moment and imagine nothing. No stars, no planets, no light, no sound. Only endless silence stretching beyond all measure. It is from this nothingness, this void of the unknown, that everything began. Every mountain, every drop of water, every heartbeat, every star you've ever seen, all of it was born from a moment no one fully understands, yet everyone feels drawn to. Long before the earth was formed, before the moon cast its first glow across the sky, before a single galaxy spun in the darkness, there was only one thing, an infinite emptiness waiting for a spark. And then, in a moment that defied all logic and law, that spark came. A burst of unimaginable power, energy beyond comprehension, a flash that shattered the void and gave birth to time, space, and matter. This moment, the beginning, marks the origin of the universe, the foundation upon which everything was built. But who or what set it all in motion? Was it chance, a divine will, an ancient intelligence far beyond human understanding? Science speaks of the Big Bang, a moment when all energy and matter exploded from a single point, rapidly expanding and cooling to form the stars, galaxies, and planets we know today. Faith whispers of a creator who, with intention and purpose, spoke existence into being. And in between these two powerful ideas lies a mystery that touches every human soul. Why are we here? Our story doesn't start on Earth. No, Earth came much later. It begins in a swirl of light and shadow, in a dance of atoms and stardust, where galaxies are born like waves crashing against the shores of time. Chaos ruled the early universe. Temperatures were too high for life, stars were still being formed, and gravity pulled everything in unpredictable directions. But even in the chaos, there was beauty. Order was rising. Patterns were forming. Something extraordinary was happening. Across the cosmos, stars began to burn, their fire igniting the birth of elements, laying the building blocks for planets, oceans, and life itself. Nebulae, vast clouds of gas and dust, glowed in the darkness like celestial lanterns. From these clouds, new worlds were forming. One of those would become our home, but not yet. As the universe unfolded, a silent power seemed to guide the course of things, balancing light and dark, motion and stillness, creation and destruction. Forces collided. Explosions reshaped entire galaxies. And somewhere in that grand performance, the first hint of a story began to form. A story not just about stars and space, but about life, purpose, and meaning. Tonight, we trace that story, from the first flicker of light to the breath of the first living thing. This journey will carry us through the mysteries of the universe and into the heart of existence itself. But what if the beginning wasn't the beginning? What if what we call creation is only part of something far greater, something still unfolding? In the next part, we'll step deeper into the unknown, because somewhere in the heart of the cosmos, something is stirring, and not everything that was created was meant to bring peace. Stay with me. As the light of creation spread across the dark canvas of space, something else moved silently in the background. Something ancient, hidden, and waiting. While stars burned brightly and planets began to take shape, not every corner of the universe welcomed the light. There were shadows, cold and deep, untouched by the warmth of stars. In these distant corners, strange energies stirred, shaping the unknown, creating balance, or perhaps disrupting it. Billions of years passed like seconds in the cosmic timeline. Galaxies danced and collided. Black holes formed, swallowing light and matter, pulling everything into their mysterious centers. And still, something lingered, something that had been present since the first burst of creation. Was it watching, guiding, or simply waiting for the right moment? We don't know, but one thing is certain. The universe was not just expanding, it was evolving, and with every expansion came new possibilities and new threats. Meanwhile, among the swirling dust and gas, one tiny star system began to take shape, an unremarkable place at first glance, tucked away in the quiet arm of a galaxy. But this system, with its warm yellow sun and scattered rocky planets, held a secret. One of those planets, still lifeless and wild, would one day become the stage for something extraordinary. Life. But life, even in its earliest form, didn't come easily. Earth, as we now call it, was once a world of chaos, volcanoes erupting, meteors crashing, oceans boiling under a thick, toxic sky. The odds were against it, and yet, in a shallow sea, under strange skies, the first simple cells began to form. No one knows how. Was it the result of perfect conditions, or was there something else, an invisible hand, guiding it all? As life began to crawl, swim, and multiply, Earth's story grew more complex. But remember, this was not the only story being written. Across the stars and parts of the universe still unknown to us, other forces were rising. Forces that would one day collide with life on Earth. Because creation was not a one-time event. It was a chain reaction, and once it began, it set into motion everything we now know, and everything we've yet to understand. What if the universe is more than a physical space? What if it holds memories, intentions, and secrets far beyond human reach? And what if something from that beginning never truly went away? There's more, much more, and it's coming. While Earth slowly awakened with the first signs of life, somewhere far beyond its skies, deep in the silent void between galaxies, a shift was happening. A region of space, untouched by light, was beginning to pulse. Quietly at first, like a distant heartbeat. Scientists today might call it dark energy or gravitational ripples. But the truth is, no telescope has ever seen it. It's something more ancient than light itself. Something that was never meant to be disturbed. And yet, with every spark of life on Earth, something in that darkness grew restless, as if the rise of consciousness was calling out to it. Back on Earth, life continued its journey. Simple organisms became complex. Time passed, continents shifted, and species evolved. But every step forward came with struggle. Extinctions, ice ages, disasters, almost as if something unseen was trying to stop life from reaching its full potential. Was it nature? Random chance? Or was the universe itself reacting to the presence of life, trying to contain it? And then came a turning point. Humanity. A species not only able to survive, but to think, question, and dream. Humans looked up at the stars, curious and unaware that something might be looking back. The more they explored the universe, the more patterns they began to notice. Strange signals, unexplainable phenomena, and moments in history where survival defied all odds. Some believe these are signs of a deeper connection. Others believe they're warnings. But no one truly knows what's coming. Because as human knowledge grows, so does the reach of that hidden force from the edge of creation. It's not just a scientific mystery, it's a spiritual one, a cosmic one, and it's tied to the very reason life exists at all. And now, it may be waking up. As the years passed, human curiosity only deepened. Telescopes reached farther, satellites picked up strange cosmic signals, and artificial intelligence began decoding patterns buried in the static of space. Something was there, something consistent, repeating like a hidden code written into the fabric of the universe. Scientists argued it was just background noise, a remnant of the Big Bang. But some researchers, working in secret, saw more. There were whispers of a pulse coming from a single point far beyond the known universe. Not a sound, but a rhythm. Alive. Intentional. Governments dismissed the findings. Most people never heard about it. But a small group of thinkers, astronomers, physicists, even spiritual leaders, had started to gather quietly, piecing together fragments from ancient texts and modern data. What they found was chilling. Stories passed down from the earliest civilizations hinted at a presence, a watcher, something that had seen creation unfold and had not forgotten it. They called it the echo, a name given to the mysterious force that seemed to trace its way back to the very beginning. Meanwhile, Earth itself began to change. Subtle shifts in energy fields, unexplained power disruptions, and strange patterns in the night sky. In remote parts of the world, people started having the same dreams. Visions of stars collapsing, of time bending, of a voice calling out from the dark. It wasn't in any language, but everyone felt the same thing. A warning. And now humanity stands at a threshold. Something is coming. Something woven into the origin of the universe itself. Every discovery has led to this moment, Every story, every symbol, every unexplained event, they're all connected. The question no longer is what is out there, but why is it coming now? And what will it find when it arrives? Just when the world was beginning to piece together the puzzle, something happened that no one could explain. The signals, the steady, rhythmic pulse from deep space, suddenly stopped. After years of growing stronger, more frequent, more organized, silence. Global observatories went dark. Satellites failed to pick up any trace of it. It was as if the entire signal had been erased, not by interference, but intentionally. And that's when the real fear began, because something about the silence felt worse than the unknown sound itself. It felt deliberate, like whatever was reaching out had suddenly turned its attention somewhere else, maybe toward Earth. Then came the skies. Within days, astronomers all over the world began reporting anomalies. Constellations were shifting, not the stars themselves, but their light. Time delays in starlight, like it was bending or being blocked by something massive moving between them and us. But nothing was visible. The space was empty. No comet, no planet, no spacecraft, just nothingness where light used to be, as if some vast object was coming closer, cloaked in the same silence that replaced the signal. Meanwhile, the dreams became more vivid. Thousands of people, unrelated and scattered across continents, all seeing the same thing, a massive spiral of light collapsing inward, like a galaxy being swallowed from the inside out. And always at the center of it, a presence, not a creature, not a god, just a force, watching, waiting, like it had been waiting for this precise moment to return. People started waking up with strange symbols etched into the ground near where they slept, patterns matching the pulse that had stopped just days ago, patterns found in the oldest cave drawings on Earth, and more disturbingly, on the walls of ancient ruins that predated written language. Then, without warning, a radio signal broke through, but it wasn't from space, it was coming from Earth itself. Deep beneath the ocean, a location no one had explored in full, broadcasted a perfect replica of the original cosmic pulse. But with one difference, this time it had a response. Two signals echoing back and forth like a conversation or a countdown. Something had already arrived, or maybe it had never left. And now, whatever it is, it's waking up the part of the universe we were never meant to touch. The world held its breath as teams of scientists, linguists, and spiritual leaders gathered to decode the signal rising from the depths of the ocean. Every part of the Earth felt tense, satellites hovering quietly above, volcanoes rumbling faintly, ocean tides behaving strangely, as though pulled by something more than the moon. And then, the pulse changed again. No longer a rhythm, it became a voice. Not in any known language, but in a tone every human instinct seemed to understand. Ancient, commanding, and filled with both sorrow and power. The voice wasn't giving instructions, it was remembering. Through audio patterns and frequency shifts, the signal revealed the truth. In the beginning, the universe had not been born peacefully. It had been split between light and dark, order and chaos. The spark of creation had also created something else, a second force meant to keep balance. But somewhere that balance had broken. Humanity, with its rising awareness, creativity, and relentless search for knowledge, had unknowingly begun reactivating ancient systems buried deep in the cosmos, keys to a gateway once sealed at the dawn of time. Earth wasn't just a planet where life evolved by chance. It was chosen, a seed, and now that seed had bloomed. The signal from the ocean wasn't just a conversation, it was a lock turning. The stars that vanished, not gone, hidden, shielding something enormous from view. Then came the twist. Presence. What everyone feared wasn't coming to destroy. It had been trapped, and the silence was its prison. Humanity's rise had unknowingly triggered its release. But now that it was free, the final message became clear. You are not alone, but you were never the first. For the first time, the world saw it. A massive celestial structure slowly emerging from behind the veil of darkness. Not a weapon, not a ship. A memory of a civilization long erased, returning to finish what had once begun. The universe, it seemed, was not expanding into nothingness. It was returning to something ancient, something alive. As the celestial structure moved into full view, Earth's skies shimmered with colors never seen before. It wasn't threatening, it didn't attack or invade. It simply hovered there, silent and still, as if waiting to be remembered. Around the world, the signal stopped once more, this time not from fear or silence, but peace. The dreams ceased. The strange patterns in the soil faded. The countdown ended, not in destruction, but in understanding. Humanity hadn't triggered its own end. It had awakened its origin. The truth was clear now. Earth was not an accident. Life here had always been part of a larger design, hidden deep within the fabric of the universe. The ancient structure in space wasn't just a relic, it was a library, a memory bank of a civilization that once spanned galaxies. A civilization that had seeded life across star systems, not to rule or control, but to give the universe a chance to feel, to learn, to grow. Humanity was one of many, but it was the first to reach the point of remembrance. Messages began to appear, holographic lights from the structure projecting into Earth's atmosphere, showing images of other worlds, other lives, some thriving, some gone. It was a quiet invitation, not a command. Connect, explore, remember. All the fears, all the suspense, all the unknowns led to this truth. The universe was a cycle of beginning, forgetting, and rediscovering. And now, it was time to move forward. The scientists who once feared the pulse now studied it as a guide. The spiritual leaders found peace in knowing that creation wasn't chaotic. It was intentional. And humanity, for the first time, felt like it truly belonged in the stars. The structure slowly began to retreat, folding back into the deep darkness, not vanishing, but resting until the next world was ready. In the end, the greatest mystery wasn't how the universe began, but why. And maybe the answer was never hidden in data or ancient texts, but in the quiet courage of those willing to search. As the stars settled back into their place and the world breathed again, one truth remained. Creation was never just a beginning. It was a journey, and that journey had only just begun.